Donald Trump has been running the most incompetent, the most inept, and the most unqualified administration in history. It is the reason why we have seen scandal after scandal out of his White House. It is the reason why we see constant failure from this administration, and it's the reason why it only took just a little bit more than 100 days for the first cabinet official to get the axe. Yes, we just saw Donald Trump's first cabinet official fired, asked to leave, walked out the door, packed their bags, given the stanky boot. This administration is in crisis, and there is clearly a civil war within Donald Trump's White House. That is why we are getting this breaking news. And I'm excited to report it because I love the chaos inside of MAGA, and we're going to get into it more. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, I think you can probably guess who just got the stanky boot out of the Trump administration, but it's just so much funnier when we take a look at this clip.
The person that was on just happens to be a sleazebag, so maybe that's just coincidence. I don't know.
But you are
would it be a problem if the Atlantic released all the text messages if they're not classified?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to ask the military about that because, maybe you wouldn't want that. I don't know. I will say this, that from what I heard, the man that we're talking about, who's not somebody that I don't think most people have ever heard of, he found it very boring and he left early. He got off the line very early. So I can't speak to it other than that. So he's made up a lot of stories, and I think he's basically bad for the country. But it's a failing venture, very failing venture. They're very upset. And a thing like this is publicity for them. But I don't think we should allow people that are very good, like that man sitting right at the end of the table who's done a great job, we shouldn't allow them to be hurt by it.
So as you can probably guess from that clip, which in hindsight is now just so funny, is that Mike Waltz, Donald Trump's national security advisor, who added editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, Jeffrey Goldberg, to a Signal chat in which Pete Hegseth was texting war plans, he's out of the administration. I don't know why it took this long. I don't know why we have put our national security in further danger by having Mike Waltz, not even just Mike Waltz, Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Hegseth, still in their positions, still in their jobs, still completely unqualified and inept. I don't know why they're still there, but it just makes me laugh that only a few short weeks ago, Donald Trump was saying that Mike Waltz had his phone hacked. That was the excuse for Signalgate, and now he is leaving the administration. And this just shows the chaos that is constant. And I always bring it up. Chaos isn't how Republicans like to frame it as, oh, just a couple of mean tweets. No, chaos puts you in danger. Chaos tanks our economy. Chaos causes real problems that you feel every day. But what's so interesting about Mike Waltz to be the one getting the, like I said, the stanky boot out of there, is because there's more to this story than just Signalgate. And we see that in this clip right here.
Not seen also.
Can you tell us a little bit about your meeting with Laura Loomer and Mike Waltz today and how that came about?
So Laura Loomer is a very good patriot. She is a very strong person. And I saw her yesterday for a little while. She makes recommendations of things and people. And sometimes I listen to those recommendations like I do with everybody. I listen to everybody and then I make a decision. But I saw her yesterday. She was at the ceremony, and she'll always have something to say, usually very constructive.
What did she recommend?
She recommended certain people for jobs.
Adding to the administration, not
Adding.
Who did she
not
recommend?
firing?
Well, she'll recommend that too. But yesterday she recommended some people for jobs.
Did she have anything to do with the NSC aides who were ousted?
No, I don't know.
Do you know how many, sir? Do you know how many from the NSC?
Not many.
Was it 5, a dozen?
I really don't know.
Who does Loomer want?
There were a couple that I know.
Who did Laura recommend hiring?
Well, I don't want to say that, but she's recommended some good people over the years. She's been in the party a long time. She's done a good job.
Do you trust?
Now, you may remember Laura Loomer as the very strange-looking woman who was constantly hanging around Donald Trump around the first presidential debate, right? She's a conspiracy theorist, she's a right-wing commentator, and she clearly has the ear of Donald Trump. Now, the last time we saw her was not during the campaign. It was a couple of weeks ago when she came to the White House and was giving Donald Trump advice on who he should keep and who he should kick out. And one of those names that popped up was Mike Waltz. So it's possible that Donald Trump is only making this decision not because he thinks that Mike Waltz is putting our national security in danger, but because crazy Laura Loomer told him to. Yeah, not his chief of staff, not one of his senior advisors, Laura Loomer. That is the chaos within the White House right now. That is what we are seeing play out. That Donald Trump is making decisions on whims, and he has people, like Howard Lutnick sucking up to him all the time, or people like Laura Loomer giving him crazy advice. This is a senile old man who is making just wild decisions whenever he wants, and they have a huge impact on you. And who's influencing those decisions? One of the craziest people in our entire country. And it's not just me who thinks she's insane. So does MAGA. It's why it was so crazy she was even allowed into the White House, and Susie Wiles, Donald Trump's chief of staff, didn't try to stop her. But that is the current situation. So is Laura Loomer about to become the new national security advisor? Is she advising Donald Trump on who he'll pick next? We don't know, but it is all crazy. It is insane. And of course, it's not the only insanity happening around MAGA right now. They are trying to pass a budget through the House, and Jared Moskowitz made sure he was calling out that insanity too right here.
But I want to talk about the economy because that will explain my amendments. Goldman Sachs is now saying the United States will have the lowest economic growth and the highest inflation of any developed country, all related to tariffs. The Dow's down 3,000 points. Consumer sentiment has fallen 32% since Trump took office, the largest decline since the 90s. And then, there's this, Trump in January 29, 2024, after inauguration, says, this is the Trump stock market. It's his stock market. And then on April 30th, something happened, and he says, this is Biden's stock market, not Trump's. So anyway, and then today, what he said was even more interesting. He said, and even the next quarter, that will sort of be Biden's also, kind of telling us that it's going to get worse. So, Mr. Chairman, listen, in the spirit of Doge, I present to you 4 amendments that have over $900 million, some people would say that's $1 billion, okay, of savings to the American people. I decided to Doge your budget. Even though the Doge caucus in Congress is dead, it met twice. I know, I was there. It did nothing. It was never included. Instead, what we got was a executive branch Doge program that fell 80% lower than their goal. They left the E out in Doge. They didn't do anything that was efficient. They've not helped government become more efficient, just the dog part. And so what I did, Mr. Chairman, is I used the exact same metric that Elon Musk used. I just made it up. So let's just go with page 70. Okay, on page 70, you want to put $700 million into the IT budget. I propose we make that $600 million. Save the American people $100 million. $600 million for computers, Mr. Chairman, sounds like a lot of money. My next amendment in there is on page 75. You guys want to spend $1.3 billion to hire lawyers. You guys starting a law firm? I mean, didn't Trump get billions of dollars of pro bono work out of all of the law firms? So what I propose, Mr. Chairman, is instead of $1.3 billion, we just spend $1 billion. How about $1 billion on lawyers? That sounds like a lot of money, $1 billion on lawyers. New cars. Homeland needs new cars. So you guys want to spend $250 million on new cars. I propose $125 million. Feel like they could probably get away with $125 million in new cars, not $250. I know cars are more expensive because of the tariffs, but at the end of the day, I feel like $125 million is a lot of money. And then this one's my favorite. I don't know if you know this, but you guys have $858 million, again, almost $1 billion, okay, of money to give out bonuses to people. And so listen, bonuses are great when people do good work, but $858 million sounds like a lot of money. That's like a $40,000 bonus to every employee in all of ICE. So how about $500 million? How about $500 million for bonuses? Okay, We can do this together. We can show the American people there's like a little bit of waste here, little bit of waste. So I can help you capture, Mr. Chairman, $903 million. We can save $1 billion together, show the American people we're serious.
Will the gentleman yield for a question?
Of course I will.
You raise a profoundly serious point in your inimitable way, Mr. Moskowitz. Well, the bonuses, that is a huge bonus budget.
Yeah.
What does that work out? Have you done the math to see what that works out in terms of bonus per ICE employee?
$42,000 for every employee in a bonus, in addition to their salary.
We recently took a look at Jared Moskowitz appearing on CNN with Mike Lawler in a video yesterday as well. And he's obviously always on top of his game, but especially when it comes to just calling out the absurdity, the hypocrisy, the shortcomings of this GOP budget, he has been so spot on. And Republicans really have no defense, even though they try. And as I brought up previously, the Republicans really trying their best right now seem to be all the members of Donald Trump's cabinet who I'm sure are about to get even weirder with their praise for him. We saw yesterday at the cabinet meeting that Pam Bondi is now saying Donald Trump has saved 258 million American lives just through the beginning of his presidency, which is a number that doesn't make any sense, and I don't know where it's coming from. But there's so much, oh, thank you, dear leader. Oh, you're so great, dear leader, because obviously now they're all worried about preserving their jobs with the Mike Waltz news. But the best example of that is probably Howard Lutnick right here.
The best line I could say is, let the greatest deal maker make his deals.
Yeah.
Right? When you don't bet on Donald Trump, you're making a mistake. He understands. He's got great people around him. Let him work through the process of getting a better deal from everybody else in the world. We're going to do it smart. We're going to do it thoughtfully. We don't want to raise the price of these things like little toys on the shelf. Why would we want to do that? We love Americans.
Yeah.
But let him build pharmaceuticals, semiconductors, steel, autos. Come on, let the guy build America back
and
trust him. And he's really, really on it. And I think people just get so, and especially the left, they just smear it all together as if it's all one thing. It's not all one thing. He's really smart. Let him make the great deals. And you're going to read them and you're going to see them. And I think my guess is he probably doesn't want to announce like one deal alone.
No one will ever explain to me, and maybe it's because I don't really want to be explained to by MAGA, but the man didn't write the book. What is the art of the deal? I am not going to buy it and read it, so someone needs to tell me, but he didn't write the book. So there is no art of the deal. There's someone else's art of getting a ghostwriting check from Donald Trump and him scamming people for a nonsense book. What are the deals that he's done? People always talk about him as a deal maker. Like, well, we've been in the tariffs for about a month now. No deals. So where are the deals? I've heard about sub deals, and that doesn't make any sense. Not a lot of deals. But I guess that's what you got to do when you're worried about Laura Loomer firing you. This administration is incompetent, and we're going to be calling them out every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.